and welcome to Dr. G's Technique of the Week, Geometry Edition.
Let's go over how to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. What this boils down to, in each case, is applying the Pythagorean theorem to the slope triangle that can be drawn for the line connecting the 2 points. So for these 2 points, -3, 6, and -9, -2, we want to find the rise and the run of the slope triangle. In other words, the vertical distance and horizontal distance between these 2 points. That vertical distance is just going to be the difference between the y values. So 6 minus -2. Which is 8. And when it's plotted on the coordinate plane like this, we can even just count those 8 units on the grid itself. For our run, or our horizontal distance, we can just find the difference between the two x values. So -3 minus -9, which is 6. Or again, we could just count that on the grid when it's graphed like this. So now we have a right triangle whose 2 legs have lengths 8 and 6. And so we can apply the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between those 2 points. That will give us 6 squared plus 8 squared equal to our distance squared. We'll call the distance between these 2 points d. And just simplifying this gives us 36 plus 64 equal to d squared, or 100 equal to d squared. So d will be the square root of 100, or 10. We can see that this is really equivalent to applying the distance formula. Since if we look at the distance formula, we'll have the square root of the difference between the 2 x values squared plus the difference between the 2 y values squared. And that difference between the 2 x values is this same -3 minus -9 that we saw here. And that difference between the 2 y values is the same 6 minus -2 we got here for the rise. If we simplify the pieces inside of this radical, we just have 8 squared plus 6 squared. So the same terms that we had on the left-hand side of our Pythagorean theorem equation. And so we'll get the square root of 100, or 10. So equivalent. Now what's really helpful about having that distance formula is if we step off of the plane and we just have some coordinates for our points, and we still want to be able to find the distance between the 2 of them. We can still do this with or without the formula by considering the rise, so the difference between our y coordinates, the run, or the horizontal distance, the difference between our x coordinates, and then putting those into the Pythagorean theorem equation and solving for the hypotenuse of the right triangle that we could draw using these 2 points. So our distance in this case would be just using the formula, the square root of the difference between our x-coordinates. So let's do -5 minus 2, although the order does not matter. And the difference between our y-coordinates, 4 minus -6. We square both of those and add them. -5 minus 2 is -7, so we have -7 squared. And 4 minus -6 is the same as 4 plus 6, or 10. So we have 10 squared. So this gives us then the square root of 49 plus 100, or the square root of 149.
Now it's time for you to get some practice with these new ideas. See you next time on Dr. G's Technique of the Week.